Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be talking about using context clues to identify the meaning of unknown words. So, oftentimes when we are reading books, we don't know some of the words we're reading. So, it's really important to use clues in the text to help you find the meaning of an unknown word. Those are called context clues. These are clues in the text that help readers to find the meaning of unknown words. So, how to use them? We can look at pictures, the surrounding sentences. We can use synonyms, antonyms, examples, or sometimes we can find the definition in the text. So, we are going to listen to this story, Jump into Science, Dirt. And we are going to stop along the way and we're going to talk about some of the words we don't know. And we're going to use our context clues to figure out the meaning of these unknown.
Soil is as important to life on Earth as air or water. Without it, many living things would die. What makes up soil? Most soils start as rock. Rain, ice, and wind slowly wear rock into smaller pieces called sediment. Some sediment is big and some sediment is really small. Soils usually include a mix of four sizes of sediment.
So, as I was listening to this page, I was wondering what the word sediment meant. So, I'm going to use my context clues to figure out what this word means. So, I'm going to read the surrounding sentences. It says, rain, ice, and wind slowly wear rock into smaller pieces called sediment. So I can figure out that sediment is really just rock that has been broken down into smaller pieces. I can also read that some sediment is big and some is small. Okay, let's keep reading.
Gravel is the biggest sediment. It looks like small rocks. Grains of sand are about the size of grains of sugar. Sand makes the soil feel gritty. Silt feels like flour. Its grains are smaller than sand. Clay grains are tiny. When clay is wet, it makes soil really sticky. When clay is dry, it forms hard clumps.
So as I was listening to this page, I was wondering what the word silt means. So as I read in the text, it says silt feels like flour. Its grains are smaller than sand. So I'm thinking about silt, so I know it feels like flour, so it must be powdery. And the grains are also smaller than sand, so they are really, really small. Then I'm going to look at the picture, use the context clues of the picture. And I see it there, and it's kind of gray, kind of whitish. So from using my context clues, I can figure out that silt is kind of a powdery material. It feels like flour, and the grains are very small, even smaller than sand.
Sediments in the soil are important because they give plant roots something to hold on to. If soils didn't have sediments, trees would fall over and buildings would sink into the ground. Sediments also contain minerals. Minerals help plants grow. Without minerals in the soil, most plants would die.
So on this page, there's the word minerals. I'm trying to figure out what the word minerals is. So it says sediment also contains minerals. It says minerals help plants grow. So I know that minerals, it's in the ground and it helps plants grow. Without minerals in the soil, most plants would die. So I can learn from this page using my context clues that minerals helps plants grow and without them plants would die.
There's more than sediments in the soil. Most soils also contain organic matter, like twigs and dead leaves. Organic matter comes from living things such as plants and animals. When organic matter rots or decays, it puts nutrients into the soil that plants and animals need to grow. What lives in soil? Plants aren't the only things that live in soil. Just 1 square foot of good forest soil can be home to as many as 300,000 different living things. Critters such as insects, snakes, and moles live in the soil. Thousands of different microbes live there too. Microbes are living things that are too tiny to see without a microscope, so you might not even know that they're there.
So the word microbes, it tells us right in the text what that word means. It says microbes are living things that are too tiny to see without a microscope. Okay, we're going to stop our reading right there. So we just read this text, Jump into Science Dirt, and we really stopped at some spots and we figured out what some of these words meant by using our context clues. What we're going to do now is we are going to sort these sentences into enough context clues or not enough context clues. So all of these sentences are missing a word. We are going to decide if we can figure out the word, if they have enough context clues in this sentence or not enough. So the first one says, the artist was blank a portrait of George Washington. So does that give us enough context clues that we could fill in the blank? I think it does, because we could say the artist was painting a portrait of George Washington. We know a portrait is a painting of something, so we know that the artist was painting a portrait of George Washington. So that was enough context clues. So the next one says, John went to, does this give us any context clues? Do we have any idea where he wants to go? Does it tell us anything? No, it does not. So this is not enough context clues. Okay, let's do this last one. My brother needs to go to the blank because he doesn't feel well. Does this give us enough context clues? Where do you go when you do not feel well? You go to the doctor. So this does give us enough context clues. My brother needs to go to the doctor because he doesn't feel well. The last one says, Pete asked his mom about, does this tell us what he needed to ask his mom about, or if he was trying to go to his friend's house? No, we really don't know what he might want to ask his mom about. So no, not enough context clues. All right, guys, so this is it for our little lesson today. You're going to practice on your own now using context clues to identify the meaning of unknown